Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be looking at EURUSD, and I'm going to show you the tips and tricks and how I actually go in, and I'm actually going to walk you through my entry model and what I'll be looking at or what I'll be looking forward to on EURUSD. So on the 4 hour time frame, we can actually see, let me zoom out, or we can call it zoom in. So you can actually see that the market has actually been a very you know been on a very strong bearish trend for a very long time. I don't know, I think we'll get into a year now, right? So probably 6 months, 7 months, it has been on a very strong bearish trend and has been struggling to go to the upside. So currently what I can see on USD is actually a bearish trend on my point until I see a major break of structure. So where will I actually call a major break of structure? Actually, I'm looking at my swing points. Although I have imbalances right here, I have imbalances up around these areas, and I have them around these areas. So this one is actually getting filled at the moment, and I'm looking to look for the most recent break of structure, as that is my type of market entry that I look for every day when I'm trying to look for a trade, right? So when you see right here, I have the break of structure, which is the major, and I can actually call this particular place my swing high, right? So this be my swing high. I will actually say this is actually going to be my daily or probably weekly order block. Say this one, right? um so this one is probably going to be my weekly order block. The reason I'm highlighting the whole of this is because price tend to not to get to the original order block when refined, right? So you just have to be aware of that, right? So already you can see that this particular place was tapped in by this swing high. So I think this is mitigated on my point. So at this point, I will always call this a mitigation area. So so while this is mitigated, and anytime a forex, anytime price, anywhere price actually mitigates, is always most likely to override. Price usually go past it, and in this point we have a mitigated area. So let's label that, right? So this be my mitigated area. Let's go to mitigated uptrend. Yeah, so this is mitigated, and I have my imbalance in place, just as I mentioned earlier. All right, so with this being said, I have my swing point, which is my swing high. I'll not be surprised if price takes this out and goes to actually tap onto this particular, I don't know if you guys can see this particular high right here, because there is a bit of imbalance over there and also liquidity at the top. Price can usually wick it, right? We can just see a speed of news wicking this particular one, or probably going at this area before shooting to the downside. We shouldn't be surprised. But what you need to know is that price doesn't have to trend for a very long time before it will fall, or to start changing its direction, or probably going back to its original direction. Price can just tap on this, and the view I think I should be looking for should be from this to this, right? So this is going to be my probably daily view on this one, right? So this is what I'm actually looking at. This is my view at the moment. I don't want to wait for weeks before I get my entry. I just want to be current. So I would like to have this as my what, my point of interest at the moment, right? So I possibly use gray most of the cases on my high time frame. So, and the reasons for this is because price has broken structure from this area, and I actually have these areas as potential liquidity which has been taken, possibly, let's take it that way. If you don't understand liquidity as a structure, you can watch my video which I'll pop up in the card right here. So all right, so I have potential liquidity on this, and so let me just label that as liquidity below and liquidity above. So this area is actually the potential areas that price has worked the retail entries around this area. And so what I'm looking for next is going to be something in a form of this, a break of structure and a push to the downside, right? So I'll be looking for this on this area. Let's redo that. a change of character, just as I mentioned, and just like that, right? So the change of character right there, uh, and there should be a clear break above before the change of character happens. The change of character can happen from this place. Price can just tap into this and change character before going back. Or usually what can happen is you can see we have a little bit of trend line liquidity right here. Not quite clear if you are looking at it, but it is actually liquidity around the area. So if you are to look at support and resistance view, you see that this is actually a major resistance area, possibly how the retail will look at it, how people taking retail entries will look at it. But nonetheless, it is actually a key area for us to look at. So that's why I list these areas like 1, 2, 3 for the imbalance. So those are the key things you have to look for: liquidity, imbalance, and then order block for possible entries on the area. So that is actually my view on Euro USD at the moment. So what can usually happen is price can tap into this and go back, getting an area right here before going to the upside, and possibly trying to trigger this once. But possibly we should see a change of character around this area to take our position back to the downside. If that doesn't happen and we see a push to the downside, I would like to take my trade around these areas, or possibly a wick of this, and I'll be taking it off of this particular little demand area as a sniper entry. I tend to take this type of entries most of the cases. When you follow me on Telegram, you possibly see that with our link in the description below. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.